tutorial, we're going to go over a little bit of Substance Painter. We're going to learn how to kind of dirty up and put on the textures for our book, and learn how to put some kind of edging on it and scuffing it up. And you can see as I go over it, you can see see that sheen. It's hard to see it. You can see down here the way the light hits that surface. So if you look at a book, you'll see this kind of just the varnishes that I put on books and so forth. You can also see some weathering I put on the edge here. And I turn these things off, and you can see what we've done layer by layer by layer. All right, that was our base layer, and you can just see how I kind of dirty it up and edge it, doing some roughness just to make it look real and a little bit edgy. I did screw up on the edge here. I put two edges on here. We'll probably do a better job, but we're going to go ahead and start from scratch, a whole new one. So we're going to go ahead and quit this. All right, so just opened up a whole new screen, and we're going to go to new. If you remember, we had, I'm going to go ahead and leave the alpha blend in here. It'll export. You probably won't use the alpha, but if you have glass, some of you guys are doing glass, that's a whole other tutorial we'll talk about for the glass on those 4 windows or 3 windows. So we're going to go ahead and select our FBX that we created. You could do OBJ. I prefer FBX, and we're going to do 2K. All right. If it's a really high-end model, we can do 4K, but we're doing this for a game engine. Let's keep it pretty light. I don't do anything else. I just hit open. And one of the first things that you want to do is just make sure that you have your naming convention that we did in Maya, that we can turn on and off. So if you have several textures on here on one object, you can make sure you're able to turn that on and off. All right, so the first thing I always tell all students is you got to bake the textures out, number 1. All right, if you don't do that, you're going to have to start everything over again. This is what I remember the process is, so just make sure you bake mesh maps first. Okay, so if you have several textures on here, it's going to bake everything through this process. So you're going to go from layers to texture settings. Please listen to this if you haven't done this in a while. Bake textures, you're going to see it's going to go through all the different things from normal to blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go back and return to our texture map, and we should have 2 things here, 2 additional wings here. So all right, so right here, this is good to know, 3D and 2D, just not 3D. So we're going to go 2D and 3D. All right, so really quickly you can see we have on the left and on the right. And so right here in the middle, if you go slowly, you'll be able to have this thing that you can pull in and out. All right, so we're going to mostly use this for projection mapping. It makes it a little bit easier. You can project on here, but you'll get overspray and get stuff all over the place. So we're going to go ahead and import our assets. I'm rushing through this, so take your time with this. Make sure you do a good quality work. So we're going to go to where we saved our PSDs, our Photoshop files. I'm going to select them all at once. And you just don't hit import. You got to tell where to go and what they are. So it could be an alpha, could be a color or environment, but we want all these to be textures. All right. So just go one at a time. There probably is a way to select them all, but I don't know how to do it offhand. So we're going to go to current session. We're going to hit import. All right. So you can see them over here on our left, which is fantastic. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is go back to our layers. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and I'm going to use a paintbrush, I think. And let's go ahead and start adding some color to this. So I don't know which is the front, which is the back. You kind of have to test it to see what's what. All right, so as you saw, I hit the painter thing. And we're going to go to projection. All right. So we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to hopefully find something that says material mode. All right. So we're going to grab our front photo here and drag it to base color, and you'll see it kind of pop up here. All right. You do want to get it as big as possible, and you can go over here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this over a little bit more. I'm going to use as much surface area as possible. And this is where it sucks to have a small laptop like I do. All right, so I'm going to go almost as big as possible. And then we want to reduce the image here. So I'm going to hit S, and right mouse will make it smaller or bigger. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller here. Don't think the resolution changes here, but so now I'm back in my mode of like Alt and zooming in. So I'm trying to zoom in and out my model. It's in the background. This is the UV mapping. So just kind of pull it around. It's kind of a pain in the patootie. Just try to get it perfectly here. And there's our clone tools, but I'd rather overspray it, try to get it over to the edge so it gets all that beautiful data here. I'm going to go up on my brush and just go ahead and start painting. All right, it should be pretty bright. There we go. Should be a little bit brighter than that. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to move my light source around. You can see it getting a little bit brighter. So it's at 100%. You may want to go over a couple times. You can see I'm not hitting anything. All right. All right, excellent. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the back. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag my back here, and I'm going to scooch over using my Alt. And again, kind of size it. It should have been the same size, so it's kind of interesting that it's a little bit different. All right, I'm going to overshoot it, overspray it, so make the your image a little bit bigger, so that way you don't have to do any cloning or touch up. I'm just going to kind of make this as fast as possible. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead, and you can see with the alpha, we're not spraying black material in there, so that makes this a lot easier if you have the alpha channel. All right, so you can see it's spraying over here on the left. That's the 3D viewport. All right, excellent, excellent. All right, so we're just going to keep going. Going to move over to our bridge here, or the spine, and we're going to go ahead and click and drag to our base color again, and zoom in, zoom out, and again, I would overspray it. I would rather you guys go a little shy on it. Either you want the dents on the top or whatever. So we're just going to go ahead, spray tan that on. All right. All right. And it's going to look pretty boxy. It's going to look pretty boring. And I'm not sure what's what. So we could have this on the wrong side. So let's go over here. I'm going to hit S, or at least turn off our projection. All right, we're going to spin this around, and we have stuff upside down. All right, that's fine. So you know how to clean that up. I'm not going to go too far with that. You will know how to do that. You would just hit, let's do that for the front. Let's look at that. I think, what is messed up here? Glad this happened. All right, so we need to probably flip the front. This back looks all right, so we're going to flip the front. So let's go back and redo that. That's probably a good thing that just happened, all right? Because you're going to get to know these tools really, really well by screwing up. All right, so we're going to grab our material, and we'll scroll down again, find, oops, go to projector, sorry, and scroll down and find our base material, and we're going to put our front book on this and then rinse and repeat. All right, so this is really good that this actually happened. So you'll hit S, and that'll allow you to flip it. You can also hit Shift to kind of lock it in. All right, and again, zooming out with your Alt. All right, kind of line up. And again, go for that overspray. And I'm just go ahead and spray it on. All right, again, we had it completely upside down. You're gonna make many, many mistakes, and you'll see a big one I'm about to make in just a second because I didn't provide enough textures, or at least a flipped texture. All right, excellent. So let's go over here and double check my work. All right, we're going to turn off the projector. So you can see you could actually project on both the 3D. All right, so it's looking pretty good. You can see a little bit of skewing going on here. I wouldn't worry about that. Could have been caused by God knows what. Could have been Photoshop. All right, so you can see that we need to add our pages in here. And this is where you're going to see a couple of my mistakes here from, so I should have flipped maybe 2 PSDs of this to have example, because I don't know how to flip it. It probably is a way in Substance Painter, but we're just going to kind of rifle through. All right, so we're going to go back to our projector, turn that back on, go to our base, and we're going to do the side of a book, drop that in, hit S and left, and we'll hit Shift, and then we'll just do our best to cover as much material on here as possible. All right, and I'm going to just overspray it. I don't think we have to have that curvature in there as perfect as you think. All right, spray tan it. All right, not beautiful. We could have probably did a little bit better job. There's some warping tools. I'm not going to get too far. I want you guys to be fast, not too anal about this, because no one's going to get that close to our book. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw in our side book, and now you'll get to see my lovely mistake. So I hit S, flip this around, and this seems to work great for this one because it has its natural curve. All right, I hope this is recording. I'm always scared it's not recording. All right, so pull in your model, kind of overspray it. All right, I'm going to spray it really quickly, and then we're going to go over here. Now you can see my mistake. This is flipped incorrectly. Let's go ahead and see if we can spin it around and see if that helps. All right, I think that fixed it. Okay. And some reason this is turning out brown. I have no idea. So it could be a flipped normal. We could have done some damage in Maya. So again, just go ahead and paint it. I have no idea why it's turning out brown here. All right, so we are done spray tanning it. Let's go ahead, and I think we're done in the 2D section. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over. All right, you can always go in here and turn that off. And here, you can go just to 3D view, which is fine. All right, so it looks pretty good. You can see stuff doesn't match up, but we're gonna dirty stuff up. All right, so this is basically just Christmas wrapping paper on here, nothing exciting. If I go over it with the gloss, you can see it's quite plain. It looks like it's right off the press. All right, so we wanna age it, add some patina to it. So we're gonna go ahead and do this. This is a very, very long tutorial, so you're gonna just kind of go fast forward it. Actually, I'm going to stop it right there. So I'm going to do another tutorial just so it's not too long, and we'll go over the patina and aging and also how to export out the files. All right, see you in the next one.